It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. It's been just an absolutely nuts morning this morning for me. But this, of course, is Wednesday, February the 22nd, 2023. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia, Central Virginia area. We got so much going on this morning. Of course, a special announcement with Nate Vallier up in Alaska and Yukon Tours. Chillie Chats with Johnny Quinlan about the Celebrity Beyond. We do have a couple news stories to get to eventually. Nothing major today, but Costa Rica has plans for a new cruise terminal. MSC aids the earthquake survivors. And unfortunately, a cruise member passes away aboard the Costa, Diadema. That and much more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Margarita Day. Now, some of you, we've got a lot of new listeners, so many of you may not know why I can't celebrate National Margarita Day with most of you today. The last time I drank tequila, I'm going back to 25 years ago or so. I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and drank margaritas that had, of course, tequila in them. And the next morning I woke up in Houston, Texas, married. And that was an expensive margarita, I promise you. So that's why I don't drink tequila anyway, any form, shape, or anything. All right, because it is the middle of the night for Nate up there in Alaska, I spoke with him briefly earlier to get him out of bed. He's not popped in the stream yet. Yep, there he comes. All right, let's bring Nate in first thing here this morning. Nate, have you had your coffee yet?
Kind of. I am awake this time. I'm like, sorry about that on Monday. It was just it's Monday.
Yeah. All right, so we have an announcement this morning that actually happened at 5 o'clock. I do have a couple questions that have been thrown back at me already today. But I guess the biggest thing, here's what we're doing. And this is Cruises for Solos with Chillie, Alaska, 2023. And probably, it's folks, to be perfectly honest, probably we should not have used Pete's group name. Right. To be totally transparent, folks, Pete is with Passion for Cruises Solos USA, and he's over there in the UK. This is not Pete's group and Pete's company. And no, I am still with Pete, and I'm still hosting a cruise for them on May the 1st. None of that has changed. This is totally separate, but this is an Alaska cruise. Pete's folks were nowhere near ready to do an Alaska cruise, and Nate and I were. So that's why it's here. We do have some interesting solo deals. Now, Nate, here's where I have a question. And that if we go down, slide down this website to the money page.
Okay.
And if you look at the inside 1D, it has group rate solo 1518 and group rate double 759. So that's showing a 100% solo supplement.
Correct.
But if you look over at special solo, that's 826. And then, folks, you have to add the taxes and port charges to that, which is 250. So that makes it 1076. That's your base special solo price for this cruise. I am correct in reading it that way, right?
Yeah. So normally with a group rate, and I think this is what Pete and others come into, is they there's no promotions. They give you a flat rate, and that's one of the benefits of a group package is they'll pick a rate that isn't the cheapest, isn't the highest, and they guarantee that rate no matter what they're selling the cruise for. But sadly, with the cruise industry, as we both know, when you're a solo traveler, they like to make you hit you up for double the price because that's how they count everything. Is in cruise lingo, it's called berth. And so each cabin is technically 2 berths. And so with our group rate, which is locked in, that's why you have a higher solo rate than you do a double rate. But for some weird reason, even despite the news with everyone saying, oh, we're going to keep prices high, we're going to do this and do that, there's been some really cheap Alaska cruises, all summer long. And so we're able to offer the President's Day special, best sale ever, allegedly, with those rates, where they then have decided that the solo rate is only going to be 50% more versus 200. And so this is where our group is a little bit different than others, because we can actually mix and match and get you the best rate, whether it's best sale ever, Princess, some of the Princess Plus promotions or resident rate. We can actually find the best rate for you, even if it's not our group rate. The only difference is the specials can have an end date. So I believe these all end on March 1st. And then at that point, I don't know if they're going to continue these or have them move on. But the balcony cabin, for example, that's a pretty high price. That's about what we've been seeing for an average. That price isn't going to change for us, but you can't get that category online right now. You can't get it anywhere. And so I think that's where the group rates, have a difference. Is we have a guaranteed group block, and then we can sell above and beyond, which is why we have all these different categories. So you're not just stuck with one particular category with this group.
All right. Now, the next question I have for you, Nate. Again, when I was looking over things this morning, and keep in mind, folks, I laid eyes on this at 5 o'clock this morning. So I'm having the first chance to ask you along with this right now with Nate. Okay, back to the front page, the book now button.
Yes.
If you click on that, that should take you to a booking page, but
Correct.
It takes you to a calendar that doesn't seem.
You click on the date. And so what we did was we put this in Fair Harbor instead of our booking engine, just because, again, we use the same booking engine that cruise.com has. And there is a small glitch right now where there's a multi-fare option where you can see every fare that Princess has. And we just thought that this would be easier than putting them into our online booking engine, because they're going to see, I think, 10 or 15 different rates per cabin for the cruise, and they may not be sure which one to book. And so This way, if you click on when you click on the date, a box appears right below.
All right, let's go try that so I can show it. Click on the date.
Yep. And then right below that is the box. So click on
Chillie Cruises.
Yep.
Okay, and you click on that.
Yep.
And then it takes you into the
so
traveler persons with 2. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to go ahead and if you want to walk someone through the process, so you click on 1 for solo traveler, and then it will give you the options we just have with the current pricing. So we need to get your name, your date of birth. If you happen to have you're a Captain Circle member. If you have any future cruise credits, let us know, because you can use FCCs for this group. And then as you go down, let us know what category you'd like, how you want to get to Whittier in terms of your transfers. We have the Princess Bus, and there's also the Alaska Railroad. We have a block on that. And then there's also a tour that will take you to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, which is kind of neat. So if you ever want to see, if you haven't seen bears yet, or moose, there's also wolverines and everything. So this way we can personalize your booking experience a little bit more than and I hate to use the word clunky, but the current website we have with our cruise booking engine, we found out that what was happening is the system wasn't recognizing the group rate. And we just figured this is easier and less frustrating. And then once someone gets a booking, myself or my 2 other agents, we will give you a call or email, verify the information, and then give you the cruise cabin options. And we can give you a link so you can see those cabins that are open with this live, that we can pick you out your own cabin, unless you pick a rate that's a guarantee. So this ship is sadly pretty full. Right now, there's no balconies left except for 1 or 2. We did find out that March 1st is when more cabin space will open based on other groups and other associations that have space on the ship. And at that point, we'll have a little bit more flexibility with it. But right now, there's a special with the President's Day. You can get, right now, you get $100 essentially for your solo, $100 onboard credit. We get a bonus $25 with us. And then deposit, I believe, is $50 to $100 a person. And then final payment is due on June 1st. And then even after that, difference with some other cruises, we can still add you to the group, even if you're a latecomer. And then Princess, I think, is going to let us keep our group space past that date, whether we sold it or not. So this way, if people aren't sure, and they, as we get closer, and it's happened, we can still get you added a little bit later on, versus having a hard cutoff date and saying, okay, that's all we're going to add.
All right, now if I can do this real quickly, let's see if I can. I'm not the most technically gifted person in the world, as my audience will tell you, Nate. Wow, that's not what I wanted it to do. I was trying to share the screen back for the pictures you sent, and that is share screen. There it is, share screen, and yeah, where is it? Yeah, this is real thrilling live stuff this morning, and I'm trying to pull up that. No, yeah. Oh, it's under Facebook. Facebook Messenger. Okay, now let's see if that does it. Sorry about that, folks. Let me see if we got what I wanted here, and if I can bring the pictures up. I don't know.
Click on media.
There, and I do this. Did that do it? Okay. So, I was hoping to get a better picture up, but anyway, that'll have to work.
So
Okay,
that's a Grand Atrium after the remodel. So the ship is remodeled in 2018. This is an older ship, allegedly. I know that sounds weird for a 2004 build. It's the buffet area.
That's one of the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we know what that is. Pool, a couple hot tubs, and a big screen TV.
Now, what I like about Princess is if you look at the deck chairs, what they do is at night when they do the movies and presentations, they actually have these really thick pads that they put on all of the loungers. And it's one thing that sets Princess apart. And I saw that on my Royal sailing last year. It's one of the things that it just makes things a little bit more comfortable, especially if you're cold out. And they even bring blankets for everybody, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't cold, I'm sitting there in a hot tub and everyone else is looking at me like I'm on crack. But when you live up here and it's not, today, the last 2 days have been amazing. It's not raining for once and snowing. And when we get clear weather, it's a treat. Yeah, so far she's
looking forward to this.
She's a pretty ship, and that's in a sanctuary. Sadly, like I said on Monday, Princess is turning more into Norwegian with having add-ons and extras. So the sanctuary is an add-on. But I did find out this pool and hot tub, that is open to the public. People seem to think you have to have a special permit, and you don't.
Okay.
And then if we scroll up, we can...
All right, so that's some pictures from our lovely ship, Sapphire Princess, that will be on starting in August. So the first person actually that saw this morning, Nate, I have to tell you, she came back and said, "Count me in." So, so that's our friend Bonnie's going to go on. She hasn't been on Princess for a number of years. Loves Alaska cruises on Princess, so we went right up her alley. So, anyway, that's a good start. All right, Nate, thanks again for coming on board. We'll be talking, of course, as we go along. Next time that Nate and I are together on this Spaces, we're going to talk about some puppies.
Yep, Skagways. Yep. And she just won the Yukon Quest.
Right. Right. So that's the next subject for Nate and I. So, and well, you guys will all be hearing a lot about this group cruise as we go on. So, again, Nate, thank you so much. I'll be talking to you really soon.
Good deal.
All right. Of course, that's Nate Valier up in Juneau, Alaska, my friend and now partner on this operation. I'll be back with more right after this.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
I love that music. It gets me up. Of course, I'll be climbing on my scooter on the next adventure tomorrow up in Baltimore. Sailing from Baltimore tomorrow on Enchantment of the Seas, 8 days on Enchantment. Then I jump on an airplane, fly to Fort Lauderdale, get on the Zandam, going to South America through the Panama Canal, and end up in San Diego. So I'm going to put a lot of mileage on some scooters over the next almost 30 days. Not quite 30, but pretty close to it. All right. My special guest today was Johnny Quinlan. That was a great interview. We did it yesterday afternoon. So here's my special guest. All right, my special guest this morning with all kinds of technical issues that finally got solved. It's my good friend, Johnny Quinlan. Johnny, welcome back to Chillie Chats.
Well, thank you, Chillie. Laissez le bon temps rouler, right? And
yes.
You know what? Technical difficulties be damned. We got it done, and here I am. And yes, it's great to be here with you.
All right. Now, about the same time I was running around all over the streets of New Orleans.
Yep. You were rolling.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
You were sailing on the Celebrity Beyond.
I sure was. And I will say, I was very excited. It was my first time on Celebrity, and this particular ship, I guess I waited till the Edge class came out, and the Beyond, of course, Captain Kate was on there, and I knew I got a great deal as a solo. They had a special, no solo supplements, and I was able to get a great balcony, infinity balcony cabin for an excellent deal. And I got to finally try Celebrity and the Beyond, and boy, woo! I was incredibly impressed on so many levels, which we can talk about.
Yeah. All right. First of all, obviously, the most important thing, and the two most important questions. Obviously, you got to meet Captain Kate.
There it is. There's the proof.
But the important question, did you get to meet Bug naked?
I didn't. I was disappointed. I didn't get to meet him, but you know what? That was only my first time on the ship. I'll tell you why I didn't get to meet him. In fact, I was scheduled to go to her trivia, her bug naked trivia, which she does on every cruise.
Every
But
cruise.
I got roped into the pool Olympics, which was on the resort deck, on deck 14. I had my new friends that I met on the cruise. They enlisted me to be part of their team for the pool Olympics, which I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We won. We won the
Nice.
pool Olympics. And I'm pretty proud of that. So that was why I missed the bug naked trivia, which I was disappointed. But on the other hand, I did that. And, you know, going even further, I was really hoping to run into Captain Kate and speak to her and talk to her. We have a lot of, you know, back and forth on Instagram and TikTok. She's commented on my videos. I've commented on hers. So she kind of knows who I am ish, kind of like some of the vloggers out there. I'm not exactly doing a YouTube vlog, but she knows who I am, kind of. Anyway, long story short, I did not see her. And I was sort of disappointed, but I knew that I would be back and I knew I would see her again. Lo and behold, my disembarkation. I lost you. There we are. Lo and behold, on the last moment possible, I was disembarking. I was one of the last people to disembark the ship. I was given permission to leave at 8:30 or 9. And I came down the gangway, and who's standing right there? And my heart just leapt with joy, you know, and there was no people really. So I got to talk to her for a couple minutes, and she was just fantastic. I mean, what a class act to be at the gangway to say goodbye to. I'm sure she did that for everybody, but for some passengers. Yeah. She's just full class all the way. She's dynamic in every way. She's a trailblazer, and I really hope to have more interaction with her in the future. I have some news that might be exciting. I was asked by a senator to become part of the National Travel Advisory Board.
Nice.
And so it hasn't happened yet, and I have some work to do to get to that point, but I'm really pursuing that, and I really want that to happen. And that means I can make a lot of changes in the travel industry for all of us, including you and including all the things that we need to talk about to make travel better for everyone. So that's exciting. And I do want to.
That is great.
Yeah, and I told her about that, and she said I absolutely would love to do an interview with you about that. So, little segue. But anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. My favorite Captain Kate story. Where was I now? I got to think. I don't know. I've been on so many cruises lately. I was sitting in port. And the Beyond pulls in right next to me. And so as she's bringing her into the parking place, I text her and I said, "Damn, don't hit us, Captain Kate." And about 5 minutes later, here comes back a message. "Chillie, shut up. I'm trying to park this boat."
That's awesome that she replied to you. That's who she is. I mean, what captain would ever reply to you when that? And that's who she is. And she is, I mean, every time I look at that picture, it makes me smile. Honestly, I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame that up and put it up there. But back to the Beyond, though, I will say that was my first Beyond, or first celebrity cruise, and will not be my last. I'm used to cruises where there's a lot of activities like slides and racetracks and all those things that we do on Royal Caribbean, on MSC, on Carnival, on all the other cruises. This cruise, the first day I got on, I thought, okay, this ship is stunningly beautiful. All the appointments and the design and everything is just amazing. But I kind of felt like, am I going to be bored? Like, what am I going to do? You know, yeah, there's the spa, there's the gym, there's things like that. But, you know, literally the first day I was like, I hope I'm not bored. Well, you know, the first day was a little strange because I wasn't used to just not knowing what to do. Plus I was on solo. So I, hadn't met a lot of people yet. Anyway, long story short, the second day I woke up was a completely new opinion and a new day. What celebrity does so beautifully is they encourage relaxation and, chillaxation. I'll go there and say that. I'm sure you love that word.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's all about being in beautiful spaces, having amazing food, meeting terrific people. Celebrity attracts a very nice clientele, I do believe. And, you know, just enjoying the drinks and enjoying the company and enjoying the beauty. And to me, once I acclimated to that and settled in to that vibe, you know, I just fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it. You know, I would go and sit in Eden in the afternoon. There'd be nobody in there, and I would watch the performers rehearsing, and hang out and listen to all that. I mean, that's just stuff you don't do on other cruises. Right. I met all the performers. You know, that's another thing. The entertainment was, minus Choir of Man on the Encore, which was one of my favorite shows ever. I thought the entertainment on Beyond was by far next level entertainment. I've never seen better entertainment on a cruise in my life. And I don't always go for the shows in the theater. It's not always my thing, but in this case, I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Don't you agree that Celebrity does entertainment better than
I put them almost
anybody
across the board, at least a half step to a whole step above.
Yeah,
everybody.
And I would say not just for entertainment, but for food, for staff, for service, I mean, you know, little things like going to Cafe El Baccio and getting a coffee, and they don't charge you. Like other cruise lines, you have to pay for those coffees, those specialty coffees. Oh, there we are. Little ticking there. And you know, little things like that really, really make me happy. I mean, I was looking at my at the app, you know, that shows your account, and every day I would just be gobsmacked that the balance due $0, like entirely. And by the end of it, I had a credit because they refunded me for something that I didn't end up doing. Yeah. So honestly, when you get what you pay for on Celebrity, you get what you pay for. It may cost a little more, but you're getting everything that you would get on another cruise line that you would have to pay for. And so for that reason, I'm a huge fan. I hope they do more solo, non-solo supplement cruises. I've spoken to them about that. They said we will do a few a year at least. So we have to keep watching out for those, because if you don't have that, it's very expensive for a solo person.
Oh,
it's
sure.
Upwards of $3,500.
I'm doing a lot of work on solo stuff now.
Well, I want to help you. I will make that a huge platform for my work and for that position I told you about. If I end up doing that, when I end up doing that, that will be one of the things that I will cater to, because there's a lot of solo people in the world right now, with divorce rates, widows, and people who just like to travel alone. It's the best form of independence and education in the world.
Yeah. I started my first solo cruise, I think, was 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I could cruise with somebody again.
That is something. I've been on a cruise with a couple other people. I am going on a cruise with my housemate and my friend, but we have separate cabins. And that is the only way I could do it. If I go on a cruise with somebody else, we're going to have separate cabins. Yeah. That's, you know, I value my independence, and I really believe that gives me the freedom to move through the world in a better way. Yeah. You know, if I fall in love with someday again and all that, sure, I'll travel with people like that. That's different. But as far as cruising goes, I think when you're solo, you really do have the freedom to meet more people and have better experiences that way.
Do you generally at least try the solo meetups if they have them?
Sure. Yeah. I went to a couple of them. What I appreciated about the Beyond was they had dedicated spaces for meetings for solos. They also had a dedicated space, which I thought was very cool, at the Sunset Bar, which on the Beyond is a double left decker. It's the most beautiful bar on a cruise ship I've ever seen. And they had every night at 6:00 to 7:30, they had an LGBTQ meetup there at the Sunset Bar, which I thought was really a class act. So there were everybody was welcome to attend, which I thought was great. So it wasn't just the LGBTQ community, but they had a dedicated space where they could be. And I'm in that community. I'm the B in the LGBTQ, and I felt very, very nice. It was great to be able to meet some of those people. Some of whom were wonderful and some of who were not so great, I will say.
Well, you're going to find that in every group.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I
But
love that there was dedicated meetings.
I'm trying as much as I can. And unfortunately, and this is one of the things I fuss at a lot of the cruise lines about, invariably they'll do a solo meetup at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock right in the middle of early dinner.
Yeah.
And, that's.
Well, for me, I'm a late diner, but like my sunset time is my time. Like I'm the guy that's still in my bathing suit at 7:30 and I'm finishing my cocktail at sunset hour. Then I run down and change. And then I'm out at 8:15 and then I'm ready for nighttime. That's me. So I value my sunset time. People value their early dinner time. So I think that meetings should be done. I loved what they did with the LGBTQ meetup. They should do the same thing with the solo meetups. Have them either earlier in the day, like in the early afternoon, maybe would not be a bad time, or after dinner, maybe at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock even.
Yeah.
Have a cocktail after dinner before the theater or something,
On
So
Norwegian, on the breakaway week before last, theirs was at 5 o'clock, but early dinner wasn't until 6.
All right, well, that works.
That worked very well because you could have a before dinner drink. Some of the people would go to dinner together. I mean, that was just a natural for it. If they think that far ahead and don't conflict with, because my situation is all medication dictated. I have to eat early because of meds that I'm on.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think, cruise lines are listening to us. They are. And I think people like you that have vlogs and all the other vloggers that I know and follow, you guys are making a big impact. I hope to make a big impact through my position that I'm going to have. And, I really like the way cruises are changing in some ways. Some ways there needs to be a lot of work. Some ways their policies are changing for the worse. But I understand we're coming back from a huge 2-year loss of most things in travel. And 2 years of hell, although I will say I missed those 30% capacity
those
cruises.
were nice.
Don't you? I missed that.
Those were nice.
That was
and
really
getting in hot tubs with nobody else around. I got
going
spoiled.
Anywhere on a ship with nobody around and the staff just talking to staff, but I missed that. But, of course, cruises are close to capacity now. They will be by the summer. And I just hope that, I'm gonna have to start going on like shoulder season because I don't like the packed cruises, but most ships are big enough and they're spaced out well. They're designed well so that you're not coagulated human soup, Yeah.
Unless they decide to do the old fashioned mustard drill.
Well, a couple cruise lines have, and I am like, what in the world are you thinking?
Yeah.
What universe are you going backwards to that?
Yeah.
Because 1-2% of the people aren't doing it? We'll kick them off then. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's going to be a huge backlash. I mean, who is it that did it? Norwegian.
Yeah.
And
MSC's doing it too.
MSC is doing it? Will I have to do the old-fashioned mustard drill when I get on next week? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought they hadn't done it when I last looked, but that's not good. Well, they'll hear from me about that.
All right. When you're on Meraviglia, let me think. The bar up on the main pool deck.
Yeah.
The main pool, and then there's a bar where the pool is, and then on the inside there's another bar for, what do they call that? The monkey room or
the jungle pool or whatever.
The jungle pool. Okay. The bar at the jungle pool there's a little bartender from the Philippines named Ria, who
Rhea?
is absolutely just a darling
Fantastic.
bartender and a really good bartender too.
Well, I'll make sure I go and visit her. And
You
is it
have to
her?
go give her a
Yeah,
big hug and a
I
kiss for
will.
the old fat guy.
I will. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. The Meraviglia, unlike Seashore, the newer ships, the Seaside class, I'm going to miss that aft adults only pool bar area. But I think, last time I was on Meraviglia, I was in the yacht club. So honestly, I really don't. I feel like I'm going to be on the ship for the first time because I really didn't leave the yacht club very much. It was only a cruise, and I stayed in the yacht club most of the time. So,
Well, sure.
but my friend told me that there is an adults only aft bar on one of the top decks where there's a pool and all that. So she said, "Oh no, they do have it. It's just not. It's not as open as the ones on the seascape or the seashore. But that's fine, So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be great. MSC is my old pal, my old pal cruise line. I've been on. I don't know. This will be my 7th, I think. But I am a new fan of Celebrity, and
I am glad to hear that.
I gamble a bit, and I know that their casino policy is quite generous, and if you gamble enough, they're happy to invite you back on board. So I think I'll be playing some slots, Chillie.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I have been
as you can see, I like cards. My shirt
on occasion.
A card shirt. It's the old-fashioned Mexican card shirt, the Loteria. Yes, and happy Mardi Gras to everybody, by the way,
indeed.
Out there. I'm a big fan of it. I'm not anywhere super fun, but my studio is very Mardi Gras out a bit. And I'm wearing my fleur-de-lis necklace, and I'm very proud of. I have this. I got this in New Orleans a long time ago.
Right.
And it's a wonderful holiday. I've never been to New Orleans for Mardi Gras yet. It is a yet.
I did it once.
But I know what it is. It's a SH you-know-what show. But I think I've been there for other festivals. And New Orleans is one of my favorite places in the world. I haven't taken a cruise out of New Orleans at this point, but I think that the time will come for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to going back to Galveston again, too. I did 2 from Galveston last year.
Yeah.
And I got to get Galveston back in my schedule this year, and it's not there yet.
They've made huge improvements in the Galveston cruise terminal, right?
I have not been in the new Royal Caribbean terminal, which I'm dying to see.
Yeah. Well, we need to be on a cruise together, so we got to figure.
Yeah.
We'll go through and let me know your schedule. Do you book way in advance or generally?
Well, I'm not as a general no, but I'm booked. Like I've got 1 booking in 2025 already. Actually, 2 bookings because that's the European trip.
Right. Well, I really need to step up my European game cruising. I do a lot of land tours as well. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I do a lot of land tours. I've been to Morocco. I am going to Iceland in March, as well as my next cruise after that. I'm going to Iceland. I'm going to Thailand. So I'm getting moving around the world. I'm at that age where I just want to do it all while I can.
Yeah. And hopefully,
Absolutely.
Johnny, that'll never change.
That will never change. I will travel.
I'm a little bit older than you, and that's the way I feel.
Bit. Well, I travel is the best form of so many things, but mostly entertainment for me, and I'll never stop doing it. It's my joy, truly.
Awesome. Well, Johnny, thank you for your time. I so appreciate this. I'm so glad we got our technical issues straightened out to do this.
By hell or high water, we got it done.
Yes, we did.
It's
and
great.
We will talk again after maybe after Meraviglia.
Yeah, we can talk again after Meraviglia, and if anyone wants to hear my take on Iceland, we can talk about that too. I'm very psyched about that. I'm really excited for you. You've got some great cruises coming up, and I hope you have safe and happy travels tomorrow. Have a great cruise out of Baltimore, right?
Out of Baltimore. I haven't sailed from Baltimore, and I haven't done a full transit Panama Canal cruise. I've done partials.
I was looking at that as well. Beyond is doing one not too long from now, and I was looking at that as a possibility. So it's time. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Chillie. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Johnny.
Have a great trip.
Great to talk to you
And
again.
Yeah,
And we'll talk
I'll be
again
here.
real soon.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
See
All
ya.
right. Happy Mardi Gras to you.
Same to you.
Okay. Take care.
Hi, that was Johnny Quinlan. Always enjoy talking with Johnny. He's fascinating person. And some great information too. All right, I'll be back with a couple news stories after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. All right, the first thing on the news end of things this morning, folks, has to do with Costa Rica. I'll be going there. A couple weeks, Costa Rica is preparing to unveil a new cruise terminal in Puerto Limon, promising visitors an experience they will never forget. Puerto Limon, situated on the Caribbean coastline of Costa Rica, has long been a favorite destination for cruise passengers, although the facilities, they were pretty lacking. The terminal's exterior will undergo a significant redesign. At the same time, investments from the Costa Rican government and local stakeholders will improve the public and artisan areas and offer enhanced services for visitors. The project was announced during a presentation by President Alvarado, the president of Costa Rica, and other local officials. The new terminal will welcome approximately 193,000 cruise ship passengers each year to the Costa Rican Caribbean. Costa Rica has become an increasingly popular destination thanks to its rich cultural heritage, diverse ecosystems, and the country's unique wildlife. Now, we talked about MSC Cruises a little bit with my guest, Johnny Quinlan, this morning. And actually, they're in the news today as well. The MSC Group and the MSC Foundation have organized urgent aid and accommodation to support the population in the aftermath of the devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria in close coordination with national authorities. Earlier this week, the MSC Aurelia set sail from the port of Naples toward port of Iskenderun, Turkey, carrying basic necessities, first aid items collected by the MSC Group and the MSC Foundation, as well as the Rava Foundation. The vessel, which typically operates as a passenger and vehicle ferry, has a cargo capacity of 40 trucks and 400 cars. Upon arrival, the MSC Aurelia will serve as emergency accommodations for impacted communities, offering over 1,000 beds and leisure spaces, such as a restaurant, cinema, video game entertainment for kids, and more. The MSC Group and the MSC Foundation aim to provide aid and support to those in need by identifying the most pressing needs and taking targeted and timely action. In addition to the aid carried by the Aurelia, the press release stated that another 100 containers of first aid supplies, including blankets, mattresses, sleeping bags, kitchen sets, jerry cans, and lamps, will be departing from Jordan via Haifa, where they will be stored in the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees warehouses. To continue assisting, the MSC Group and the MSC Foundation are seeking financial support, and they urge others to join them in making a positive impact in the lives of those who were suffering so badly. Congratulations to MSC. MSC just, whatever you think of MSC Cruises, they continually keep doing the right things. So, and the final story this morning, that was a little squeak in the voice. We're deeply saddened to share the death of Costa Diadema crew member Amri bin Nujono, a 55-year-old Indonesian national who was working in the engine department was found dead in his cabin by fellow crew members. The ship officers reported the death to the Italian maritime officials at the port of Cagliari, where the body was handed over to authorities. According to Cagliari Castidu, the crew member told his colleagues that he had had severe headaches for several days. The news outlet said the crew member passed away in his bed, most probably from sudden cardiac arrest. In the wake of this tragic event, we send our deepest condolences to the family and to the Costa family as well. Rest in peace, Paisa. All right, it's been a busy morning this morning. Let's go see who's over in the chat room today. And then I get to go jump in the car and head for Baltimore. That's next on my agenda. So, all right, Katie's with us. Of course, Katie's with us. She wanted to see her cousin, Johnny. Dennis is here. Hi, Dennis. Tequila is a panty dropper. Yeah, well, I'll never taste tequila again. Kenneth's with us. Good morning, Kenneth. Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. Wish I could go, but vacation time already booked for 2023. Oh, okay. We'll have other chances, Cindy. Don't worry. Katie says hello to everybody. MC's with us. Congrats on the group cruise, Chillie. Thank you very much. Carol's here. Hi, Carol. Princess does a great job with Alaska. And everybody's talking back and forth. MC, did Chillie tell you the restaurant recommendations I had for Cozumel? I have that in my notes. And I've actually yesterday, I forgot about it. And I see, yeah, you're taking care of that. Laissez les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's absolutely correct. A van lifer in Michigan mentioned a storm arriving today. Yeah, there's some bad weather up in the central part of the state. MC, if your ship is at the central port at San Miguel, Cozumel, and you don't have a day beach club excursion planned, I recommend Pescaderia San Carlos. Pescaderia. Okay, I said it better that time. And of course, that's at the San Miguel up here, right near there. And the next time I'm in Cozumel, I've got to try that one too. So, here's a name that I don't know, Imaji Hill. I've seen that one time before, I believe. Anyway, welcome back to Chillie Chats. Wow, that Johnny is a cute little hottie. Hoping you enjoy the National Travel Advisory. Me too. That would be terrific to have an in on the advisory. Yeah, I could dig that. I booked the Celebrity Ascent for 2025. I tell you what, Celebrity's game is, they've stepped it up. I like what I'm seeing from Celebrity. There may soon be an announcement on a Celebrity cruise too. That's in the offing. MC says, no, I had not received that recommendation yet because I forgot. I admit. I will keep that in mind. Gracias for the suggestion and follow up. Bacho. Kiss. Bacho. Okay, I didn't know that. There's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. She's out there in Arizona. Good morning. I'm really looking forward to my first celebrity cruise in 94 days. I would be too. MC, I highly recommend it. Fantastic fresh seafood. And you must pop by the Mega by the port after lunch before boarding the ship for any kind of snacks. I know what's at the Mega. I've been in there before. Been in there a bunch of times before. Carol says, I've been solo cruising for 15 years and wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, it's really funny how that, for most of us, it happens that way. And I keep telling people, because one of the questions I get constantly from people is, oh, I'm really afraid to go on a solo cruise. Will I have anything to do? Will I be lonely? Oh my goodness, no. You're going to be as busy as you want to be with as many people as you want to be always. And to me, it upped my cruising game completely. I've cruised a lot of cruises before I went solo. Did a lot of groups before I went solo. But yeah, not going to change now, no matter what. The masked wife likes seafood. There you go, MC. MW likes seafood. That's a good place to get it. I prefer solo too, but doesn't always work out that way. Disney never offered solo cruise fares, always 100% single supplement. Yeah, and I understand the reasoning behind the 100%. I'm thankful now that many cruise lines are at least at some level getting away from that. And even if they're just partial, and sometimes it takes some shopping, but you can find it on a lot more cruise lines. Like, I was not aware that Princess was given any kind of decent deals until Nate pointed that out to me. So, and I've got a cruise booked on Princess, which I got from another source. But still, yeah, they've had some very nice deals on for solos. MSC continually has good deals for solos. I got a good deal on Holland America on a solo deal. So yeah, they're there. You just have to be patient and willing to shop and look for them. So, and I have not seen Disney do anything along that line yet. They will in time. Amy says, happy hump day. Yeah, that's true. Wednesday is always a market day for me, farmers markets and Lady. Chillie play Good Morning Baltimore along your road trip to the port. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I don't know. It depends on how quickly I can get out of here with packing all my computer stuff up. And, I've got some things to do before I can leave. So let's say if I'm out of here within an hour and a half or so, yeah, I should get up there in time to do dinner someplace tonight. And yes, I'm aware of that's from Hairspray. I liked Hairspray. This, matter of fact, Hairspray was on, I don't remember which ship, maybe Symphony of the Seas. Anyway, I don't remember which ship it was on. But they did a real nice rendition of Hairspray on that one. I enjoyed that. I've seen Hairspray before, of course, but I really enjoyed the one that I did most recently. Hairspray is a musical and symphony. Katie just confirmed that. That's what I thought. I will be on her in 2 weeks. Very good, Katie. Haifa is important near Tel Aviv. Haifa, yeah. At least I don't screw up the pronunciation of Haifa. Great interview, Chillie. Thank you, Katie. I enjoy I enjoy Johnny immensely. Pescaderia. 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 Let's say manner. Remember to bring cash to the restaurant. They take USD, but you'll save more paying in pesos. Before the blip, lunch was $15 to $20. A year ago, it was less than $10 each for the freshest, fantastic fish. Nice. Gonna definitely do that. So much easier to meet people when solo. You're more approachable than when you're with a group. I agree. Chile, in between your cruises, will you be flying on the same day or is it next day? I always do. The day before, I will fly on the day I get in, but I give myself plenty of time at the airports. So yeah, that's my MO. I will never fly on the day of a cruise again. If I can't do it a day before, then I don't do it. I mean, I'll even go like New Orleans. I did 3 days earlier, but that was because of the mainly because of the plane connections. However, I made good use of those 3 days in New Orleans. So Emma's with us. Hi, Emma. I was cruising with Pete recently, and he says lots of lovely things about you behind your back. That sounded sarcastic. No, it doesn't. I didn't mean it to be. He really says lots of lovely things. Well, Pete and I have been friends for years, and we're close enough friends that he and I can, be at each other's throat over something, and 5 minutes later we kiss and make up because that's just the way we roll. But yeah, I have been through a lot with Pete. I'm certainly glad that. By the way, folks, the website that that I mentioned earlier today, the title "Cruises for Solos" on what I'm doing has been changed, and that's before the show was over. So, yeah, Nate realized when I said what I said and fixed it. That's the way he rolls. Australia has cheap solo cruises. That's nice to know. Quite frankly, because I've not been to Australia, I've never priced those down there. Emma G, if you visit South Beach before your Miami cruise, avoid the bars, restaurants, and shops around Ocean Drive, which is the tourist armpit of South Beach. How far are you from Baltimore Port? We're considering the Norfolk or Baltimore ports for summer Carnival cruises. Baltimore is probably going to take me 4.5 hours or so. I don't know. I didn't even put it in my GPS yet. I'm just guessing at that. I can get to DC in 3.5 easily, and it's about an hour north of DC. And yes, the Norfolk is expanding their cruises. Highly recommended. I have not sailed out of there either. I hope to do that this year with one of the Carnival offerings. That's not booked yet. So, but yeah, one of the things that I try to do, as everybody knows, if I haven't been out of a port, I try to do that. And so that's, I want to go out of Norfolk as well, so I can report on that. Instead, go to Lincoln Road Promenade between Washington Avenue and Alton Road, which is the true heart of South Beach. Okay. Guys, that is going to wrap me up for today. Now, tomorrow, of course, is embarkation day for me on Enchantment of the Seas. I will do a show in the morning from the hotel, but it's going to be early. I don't know how early. A lot depends on how my schedule falls as far as getting to the port. My appointment is not until 1. I'm not sure how far the hotel is from the port. So let's figure if it takes a half hour even, I could maybe leave the hotel as late as 12, which means I could do the show a little later, like 10 o'clock or something. But I'm guessing it probably, so I don't run out of time in getting things processed, 9 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock. I don't know. But I'll do a show tomorrow morning. And then, of course, on Friday, I'll do a show from the ship. Assuming I got a good Wi-Fi signal. Hell, you never know. So, at any rate, folks, tomorrow we'll be up in the air, but there will be a show. Just stay tuned. If you have not done so, always we appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, that's a tremendous help to the channel. The bell notification will tell you when I go live or when a new video is up. That wraps me up for today, folks. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fantastic day.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.